Publius Clodius Pulcher, son of Appius Clodius Pulcher, was Rome's first crossdresser. Our little Publius, which from this point forward we will call Clodius for the sake of simplicity, was born in 92 BC in the Claudia family as the youngest son of Appius Clodius Pulcher, having two older brothers, Appius and Gaius, and three sisters, very creatively named Claudia, Claudia, and Claudia. Romans weren't really known for their variety of names. The gens Claudia was one of the most prestigious families during the Republic. They held the office of consul since the early Republic on many occasions, and even produced two of Rome's emperors, Tiberius and Claudius. Claudius's father and older brother Appius also held the office of consul, so we can see that young Claudius had quite a reputation to uphold. Once he turned 18, he started to serve in the army under his brother-in-law Lucullus during his campaigns in the east, where he got himself in trouble when he orchestrated a mutiny of the soldiers against Lucullus. After this whole mess, Claudius was made a fleet commander by his other brother-in-law, Marcius, the proconsul of Cilicia, and ended up being captured by pirates. The details of his release were lost to time, but his political enemies made up a story that Claudius got released after doing bad stuff with the pirates. After this whole mess, he got back to Rome, started getting involved into gang violence in the city, and still had political aspirations. Unfortunately for Claudius, his dreams had to be postponed due to a very dumb stunt he did in 62 BC. Well, you see, there was this holiday in Rome called Bona Dea, or the Festival of the Good Goddess. During this time, Roman women gathered during the night to celebrate, and it was a holiday exclusive to women, and men were prohibited from leaving their homes during the night of the festival. This year the party took place in the house of Julius Caesar, which was the Pontifex Maximus. And at this festival, both Caesar's mom Aurelia and his wife Pompeia were present. So, for unknown reasons, Claudius decided to sneak into the house of Caesar by wearing woman clothing and pretending to be a flute singer, either out of curiosity to know what was happening during the festival, or to seduce Caesar's wife Pompeia. Whatever the reason, he was found out after one of the servants tried to ask Claudius to start singing, and after constant asking by the servant, she heard his voice mentioning Pompeia's name, which gave him out to be a man. You can imagine that full-blown panic started when the attendees realized that a man was infiltrated in the house of the Pontifex Maximus during a festival dedicated to women. A full-blown scandal started due to this stunt, and Claudius was put on trial, where his defense made the alibi that he wasn't even in Rome during the night of the festival, while Cicero claimed that Claudius was in Rome during that time. Fortunately for Claudius, his allies bribed the jury, and he was acquitted for his sacrilege. In the meantime, due to the scandal, Caesar divorced his wife Pompeia and saw the potential in our young crossdresser and became an ally of Claudius. So what did Claudius do after this whole scandal? Well, he was a quaestor in Sicily and later on wanted to run for consul, but due to his age, he needed to wait. Meanwhile, his enemies were trying to prevent him from advancing through the cursus honorum. So Claudius did the unthinkable, and he ran for the office of tribune of the plebs by being adopted as the son of a plebeian that was a member of his gang of thugs, which was younger than him, and changed his name from Claudius to Claudius. This was made possible with the backing of Pompey and Caesar, which as Pontifex Maximus officiated the adoption ceremony. Now Claudius was a tribune, and also had veto power. During his time as tribune, he adopted multiple populist laws to the frustration of the conservative senators, one of which was to extend the grain dole and make it free for Roman citizens that were part of the program, and also pushed for a law in which Roman patricians were not allowed to kill plebeians without trial. Meanwhile, he also was up to his usual shenanigans on the streets, with his gang threatening political rivals, and even took vengeance on Cicero by harassing him and forcing him into exile to Greece, while he confiscated his Italian properties. Also, his gang activity blocked elections in Rome. During this time, Caesar was in Gaul doing his worst, leaving Claudius to do as he wanted in the city. Even though he was no longer tribune of the plebs, Claudius still instilled fear in the city with his gang violence. Unfortunately for him, the first triumvirate was breaking apart. Crassus died, and Pompey's relation with Caesar started to deteriorate, and Pompey and the other conservatives grew sick with Claudius's antics and tried to bring Cicero back from Greece, only for Pompey to keep being harassed by Claudius's thugs, effectively being put on house arrest by the gang. During this time, he made his gang members shout in front of Pompey's house insults and even attack his masculinity, calling him effeminate, which was pretty rich coming from the guy who was cross-dressing to get into a women-exclusive event. In the eyes of the conservative faction, this chaos coordinated by Claudius in the streets of Rome had to stop, so in 53 BC, while Claudius was campaigning for the office of praetor, he got into conflict with another gang leader, Titus Annius Milo, which was running for political office, and Claudius tried to sabotage his campaign. This ended up with Claudius and Milo directing their respective gangs against one another, and street fights ensued. In 52 BC, while with his thugs on the Via Appia, Claudius encountered Milo and his gang, and fighting started. In the chaos, a former gladiator threw a javelin at Claudius, which ended up wounding him, and he was taken away to an inn on the roadside to recover from his wound. But unfortunately for him, Milo's men arrived at the inn, dragged Claudius out from the building, and stabbed him to death. Publius Clodius Pulcher was a wild character in the late Republic. Being from a well-regarded family, he was a product of the corruption, opportunism, and the violence that was synonymous with the late Roman Republic since the death of the Gracchi brothers. He was an instigator and a man that sought what every Roman man wanted, that being prestige and political office. He left behind a legacy of political violence, but also reforms directed towards the lower classes in the Roman state, which eroded the political power of the old patrician aristocrats. But most importantly, he was Rome's first crossdresser 3 centuries before Elagabalus. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and also leave a comment. I will see you next time.